Hello, my friends, family, esteemed colleagues. Since more and more people are following the protocol, same questions again are piling up. So this time I want to address the question about, well, how do we know if the symptoms that we are experiencing are good or bad symptoms? What I mean by it is, are they caused by our problem, our disease, or are they symptoms of healing, so-called healing pains? This is a very good question, and many people, I would say great majority of people, has tendency to misinterpret the symptom. And this is all because of the scare and misinformation, miseducation that we are loaded with through the indoctrination process. Again, more or less, what everybody knows, what you see on many sites on internet, is most likely false, because we are being kept in this false matrix. What is good is bad, what is bad is good. And this goes through for the science as well. I mean, how many doctors still, even those who are aware that this was plant stuff, what's going on, think that this little boogeyman exists. Unfortunately, I have to talk like this because this video will disappear. We are so brainwashed that many health professionals, doctors, nurses, are lining up to be protected by this and receive not one but multiple protections. In the same way, we are being miseducated that every symptom, and by symptom we think something that's happening to us that is out of ordinary, usually connected with discomfort and pain, is a sign of a disease. Well, it could be dis-ease if it hurts you, if it makes you uncomfortable, of course. It's dis-ease. But is it disease? Well, I always point out that diseases, the way we are being told, do not exist. Just face it. We say, you are sick, you have diabetes. Well, what is diabetes? Is a label or symbol of you having high levels of blood sugar. So you are not diseased, you are having high blood sugar. Why? You are munching on it. It's you eat carbohydrates, you are packing yourself with glucose, sugar. And yes, body is going to try, well, at the first place, when it starts, when you start doing this, you start having digestive problems. Baby start burping, gets the shits. But we say, well, it cannot be from this is good stuff. So you continue and suppressing the symptom, which is in this case diarrhea and burping, and you suppress it Through medications, through medicinal remedies, being it some tea, being it some herb, being it some pharmaceutical poison. Doesn't matter. You suppress it. And body has no other option than adjust to this new environment that you are creating in the body. And since we have thousands, millions of doctors in the body called genes, well, they respond to this changed environment and they give the blueprint to the cell how to function in this environment. So body is adjusting. And once when we adjust to it, we say, oh, this is good for us, you see, this is healthy. Well, it's not. And I point in many ways of almost every bad type of diet that we have. I point why it is bad and we should not eat in that way. So anyway, so the symptom then of elevated sugar is going to be thirst first. Why thirst? Because everything, our body is this electronic robot that has sensors and switches and programs how to manifest any frequency that it is programmed to manifest through your senses. And then you experience it as your reality. So, as soon as blood sugar increases over the radar, over the calibrated part, then switch is triggered for dealing with this. So you eliminate it through urine. So it starts working as a diuretic. Whatever goes above the radar, above the tolerance in the blood, is going to be excreted. And it's excreted through your blood cleansing organs. Primary kidneys, secondary mucosal tissue, and third, the ultimate toxicity through the skin. So if your kidneys are failing, well, you still have two other cleansing organs that will take over, and that you have increased protein level in your urine, and your blood picture is changing. Well, this is just indication that you are out of whack, but it is not indication that you are diseased and you are dying. Because the body is set up to continue keeping you alive. It's amazing what body can take if the shift is gradual. So it has time to adjust to it. It can adjust to a cyanide. So it can adjust to anything. So, what are the good symptoms and what are the bad symptoms? Well, every symptom can be either one of those. Let's say you eat some spoiled food, toxic food, and toxicity is considerable. So as it hits your sensory organs, okay, so it goes into your mouth. So right away, there are your tonsils. So they are checking what's coming in. It goes in the stomach, sensors again. And if it is alarmingly toxic, well, it is not going to be allowed to continue. So you get nausea and you throw up. So you can say, okay, this is a symptom I ate bad food, toxic food. All right, but then you can be just drinking plasma and you were feeling okay. And all of a sudden, plasma level in your blood increases. You start filling up with fresh blood. There is now enough water available for cleansing. And if your blood is very toxic, through mucosal tissue now, you start seeping, cleansing the blood, and getting all those poisons wrapped in a mucus, and now they settle in your stomach. And all of a sudden, your body sensors react to this high toxicity, and it could be so high that the system just does not let you pass it through. And you get nausea and you throw it up. So now, which one of those was a positive or negative symptom? Well, it is always positive symptom. Your body is purging toxicity. Now, did the toxin come from the food that you ate immediately, or something that you drank immediately, or is it result of you cleansing and getting the toxin that is already in your blood and that was not able to come out because there was not enough plasma? So now as plasma level rose, I have being nauseous in such a level that you are going to vomit just simply by drinking plasma, the blood has to be extremely toxic. So this would happen to people that have been on, let's say, chemotherapy, or being under very strong antibiotics, or steroids, high level. But also it happens on people who are eating packaged foods, especially the color ones. So your muesli, your, I don't even know how you call it because I never eat that crap. But it's the prepared, dry, crunchy garbage, colored, that they tell you, oh, it's good stuff, and people serve it to their children with little milk on it, and oh, this is good, it's a pure poison, especially the colored ones. And I had here a child, young man, I think he was 9 years old at that time, and little bit overweight. Mother has money, so he's being pampered. He eats what he likes to eat, and since we don't know better, since we are being told that cereal is about, that's a good stuff, you know, and the color ones, that's a beautiful stuff. So he was munching on these cereals every morning, and then he was drinking Pepsi and Coca-Cola, all this colorful, toxic stuff. Gatorade is the same crap, those energy drinks. As soon as there is a color, those colors are very toxic. A lot of antibiotics are nothing more than those colors. And they don't kill any pathogen. They basically shock the system. They make it cringe, shrinks the membranes of the cells so nothing can penetrate, but then nothing can come out, so cleansing is stopped and problem feathers out. But this child that was just eating crappy food, crappy garbage, cold food, well, he started vomiting. And I have never seen it before. He was vomiting 1 week. Every day when he drank plasma, he was vomiting. Usually it's 1 day, 2 days, maximum 3 days you have this in the morning. Why in the morning? Because during the night, your cleansing continues. So a lot of this mucus settles down in the stomach and builds up. So in the morning you get nausea. This is what's morning sickness in pregnant women all about. And but he was vomiting multiple times a day for a whole week. So finally his mother said, no, the salt is bad for him. This is so okay. So here we have a symptom, vomiting. It's the salt. It's not good. No. Maybe some people tolerate it, but my son doesn't tolerate it. He stopped. No more detox. And she is a very good friend of ours. We are actually now moving into her place. So in a week or so, videos will be made from the new place we are moving in now. Beautiful place. In a small village in a jungle near Guayaga River. But I cannot convince her that herself and her son are very toxic. They should detoxify. Because this discomfort, no, it's a bad, something is wrong with it. It cannot be. So, which is a good symptom, which is a bad symptom? It depends how we classify it, and we classify it according to the belief system that our ego has. It's not the brain, it's the ego. What is ego? Consciousness of a physicality. It's the I am. It's Darko in this case. So, which symptoms are good and which symptoms are bad? If you are doing something and all of a sudden you start having pain, well, you check what you were doing and what could be the cause of pain, and it's a bad symptom because it's pain. Now, when you start detoxifying and when you change your diet into correct diet, and when you start drinking plasma, and all of a sudden symptoms start coming out, well, they feel bad, but this is what we are calling the healing pains. You are detoxifying. So instead of toxins coming from outside, from the drinks that you have, or food that you eat, or air that you breathe, or sound that you're listening to, all this can be so toxic that it gives you a feeling that you will vomit, nausea, or triggers diarrhea, or triggers headache, or triggers muscle pain, or joint pain. Those are all symptoms of toxic body. Now, you just have to see if the toxin came through what you are doing now, and then you say, oh, it's a bad symptom. Or are you now detoxifying? So are you raising the level of plasma and allowing your body to start cleansing? You have the same problems. This is why every time, well, if you have a consultation with me and explain your symptoms, I may pinpoint where the problem comes from. So you stop doing this. And now you start hydrating and following the self-healers protocol. So right away, your body starts eliminating the garbage that has built up in your body. First starts cleansing the blood. And then all the garbage that is in connective tissue, subcutaneous, and showing symptoms. And the symptoms are same as if you would be now poisoning yourself. There's no difference. It's always about toxic blood and a detox. So, which are the positive pains and which are the negative pains? There is no such a thing. Basically, it's all positive. It is all body showing you that it is toxic and it is dealing with the toxicity. Now, if you have nausea, and now your goal is to stop the nausea no matter how, and you want it fast, well, you go with suppression. So you medicate yourself and you suppress the symptom or cut the signal. Well, it's your choice. Or you do the opposite. You understand what is going on. You understand that you are toxic and you want to help your body detoxify, and you actually start giving the body what it needs. Number one, raising a plasma level because it wants to cleanse. Body always cleanses, even from these things. It is going to cleanse because it's a foreign body, it's a foreign vibration that your body wants to eliminate, but it can't if it does not have enough plasma. So forget about chelation and all this nonsense that we are being told that we need something to bound this to be able to eliminate. It doesn't work that way. We are being brainwashed. Again, we are trying to utilize the knowledge, the fraud that we are being indoctrinated with, making sense of it and trying somehow to put it together to our benefit. You cannot do it. You can't do it. You always misinterpret symptom and you go into fear. And what does fear do? Drops your voltage, and in this way it drops your immunity. Your immunity, your immune system is immune to shift frequency. Okay, you want to be stable, you want to have the stable frequency. If you have the same frequency that you should have, you are healthy. Only if you shift the frequency your brain shows you through your senses in a different way, in the way it was programmed to show it, as different frequency. And that's with pain, with disease, discomfort, changed values in the blood. You don't go and correct values in the blood by getting the same chemical from the outside, being it artificial or from plant, doesn't matter. Because you are basically screwing with the alignment of your body, with the autopilot of healing. Whatever you provide, body does not have to produce. So, you are supporting the toxic body to stay toxic. The only way of healing is to allow body to readjust to its healthy state of vibration. And to do it is simply by stopping poisoning it and giving it plasma so it can do the cleansing. And then, of course, the correct diet so it is properly nourished without being poisoned and creates the proper environment within a body that does the alignment of genes to the original matrix, and you are healthy. So there is no such a thing as a good or bad symptom. Symptom is a symptom. Only, of course, if you are picking mushrooms, then you try mushroom and all of a sudden you are nauseous and you feel like throwing up and you are turning with a sweat and oozing, well, you are poisoning yourself right now from what you are putting in. And body goes immediately into detox. You get pinched and you get all oozy. Why? Becoming toxic. And you feel nausea. Why? Because body immediately tries to use the mucosal tissue. And kidneys also, you will urinate more. You get cramps. It's all from the toxicity. Every time you have some adverse reaction to anything, being it food, being it medication, being it, you are being poisoned. And your body immediately goes into detox. And if you are low on plasma, it cannot do it. If you are high on toxicity to begin with, you will have very bad symptoms because you are adding up to the toxicity. And you may be so toxic that, you know, this thing could have just been the drop that spilled the coffee. So you basically, your system cannot deal with it, and it has very strong reaction to it, and you can die. Why do some people die from seasonal flu? Because they are so toxic. Their blood is so toxic and dehydrated, so it cannot really detoxify. And then changing environment makes the cells cringe, and dirty sponge, you squeeze it a little bit, a lot of dirt comes out, enters already dirty blood, system is overly saturated, and the individual dies, cannot handle it. So, why were people told when this planned thing started? Why were they told, oh, when you start feeling symptoms of flu, well, don't go to hospital. Don't stay in the house, lock yourself. You don't want to pollute anybody else because now you are infected. And only if you really cannot handle it, you know, you are having difficulty breathing, now come to hospital. You know, now they put you on a respirator and they plug you with more toxins and it's regular flu. Before, we were told as soon as you have symptoms, stop it. Put antibiotic, close the system. Stop it from further cleansing. Now, no, let stuff get out. Let's as much saturate your blood, you know, so now you have difficulty. And now we're gonna take care of you and send you to the morgue. So we just have to think, observe and think what's going on. So as you can see, there is no such a thing as a good or bad symptom. There are symptoms. So if you start doing the protocol and you stop dropping medication and your blood pressure goes up, well, right away goes, oh, I'm having salt in my blood. This is why my blood pressure is up because of the salt. Salt is, I cannot have it. It's not true. Blood pressure will not kill you, just let it go through. It's all baloney science we are being told. I have quite a few kidney clients having problems with kidney, clients, patients. I like to call them clients only because nobody is sick, so nobody is patient. We are basically toxic. And we just need information and guidance. So, whenever you are already very toxic, you are going to have symptoms during the detox process. This is why I say, if you have a chronic health issues and you want to do the protocol, and the older you are, it's not only that you are more toxic, but you are also more injured, because the systems, the cells are toxic, they are dry, they are acidic, they don't work properly. Tissue like this, like muscles for example, they become brittle, they lose tension, they cannot perform correctly. It shows variety of problems that we then put symptoms together and we put label and pure, you have osteoporosis, pure, you have, I don't know, reflux, pow, you have arthritis. Those are all symbols describing symptoms that you have and labeling them with little boxes. Now, this is one disease, this is one disease, they have nothing to do with one each other. Yeah, it's all connected. One turns into another. Higher toxicity, affecting particular system of the body. And let's not forget emotions that actually can control all of it. And emotion can heal you instantly and can kill you instantly. Because this is all your ego interpreting current situation according to the programs it has and the information it receives. So as long as it runs and believes firmly into particular programs and information it receives, it is going to force the brain to manifest what it believes is the most logical expected outcome. And that's where spontaneous healing comes in, and this is where sudden death comes, caused by fear. So, ultimately, it's all ego's decision. No matter what you eat, no matter what you drink, no matter what's happening around you, it's ego that decides what is going to be manifested. And then it will use the brain to create the frequencies, run it through the senses, and this becomes your reality. So if you have chronic problems, especially if you are elderly, but not only, if you're young people, 22 years old, extremely toxic, on kidney, on blood dialysis. So, if you have symptoms, ask for guidance. Because even when you understand, you can read my books, you can read my articles, there is always the doubt. And now you start having pain all of a sudden that you didn't have before, ever. And immediately it goes, what is it? Must be something that I'm doing now. It must be the salt. Oh, it's increased blood pressure. That's what it is. It's a salt again. Oh, it's, I don't know. We find always excuses where cholesterol, oh shit, it's a cholesterol problem. Blood coagulation. Because we are listening now what's going on. Blood coagulation, pop. Well, what makes the blood dense? What makes the blood particles to clump together? Is loss of electrical voltage. The magnetic field goes down. No repelling. Some people say, oh no, you have to bring negative ions. You cannot put negative ions in the blood. Because that's when clumping starts, because every particle in the blood has to be same polarity, so they repel each other, so they don't clump together. And healthy body has everything positively charged. As soon as you start putting negative things in it, pop, pop, pop. Think clearly. And same happens when you drop voltage. Because heart is putting pressure. It's twisting all the time, pumping. It doesn't pump like this, it pumps like this, twists. Creates huge pressure. Some say, no, you can see on artery, or it's not true, because it goes through 90-degree angle. What happens in 90-degree angle? Sudden acceleration. You accelerate, you create suction. Artery shrinks. So you have, that's how blood goes. Again, we have to, this is why we have to break out these boxes. You cannot get knowledge by studying Bachs. A lot of people are studying Bible, and they know everything about Bible, not realizing that it's all freaking lie. Because they are looking at one box. And when something comes from the outside, no, it's not in a box. It's not true, because box is made by God. How ridiculous. That same is for science. Doctors are same. No, I know everything in this box. And body works the way the box says. Says who? This box was manipulated by Rockefellers. Everything that's put in the box is false. So medical experts are experts of nothing. They are pure bullshit artists. If they did not have the wits to step out of this box. And you have to put everything together to start understanding it. I was pretty lucky because I changed professions. I'm captain, so I was taking my yacht across the Atlantic, so I had to understand all the systems. Water pressure, electricity, 12 volt, 24 volt, 110, 220. I have to understand radar, how it works, where it's connected, what are the parts, autopilot. I have to understand water pressure, because I have to run all the systems. I'm running the whole town in one yacht. And when you look at the body, it's the same thing. It's not just the body. It's everything that goes in and out of the body is the environment around it, because it's all vibration we are immersed in. And ultimately, it's all about frequency and programming and controlling the ego. What the ego is going to accept or not accept. The more information it has, the more sense it can make out of it. So if you're looking for the information in one box, well, you only have information of this box. You are expert of this box. But do you really know? No, you just know this box. And what's in it? You know nothing else. You are disconnected. So, healing pains, or in general symptoms of disease. Remember, disease exists, but disease does not exist. It's a bunch of symptoms put together which indicate toxicity of your blood and your body. And if you feel diseased, if you are in disease state, while you are doing something, well, you are probably doing something wrong. Eating something wrong, drinking something wrong, smelling something wrong. Or if you are guided and you know now that there is no way that this can harm you, but when you start taking it and you start feeling the dis-ease, well, it is not what you are doing, it is what is coming out from your body. But symptoms will be exactly the same. Okay, I hope I have clarified this. And if I have missed somewhere, let me know. I'll try to make a better job at it next time. Thank you for being here. Love you all.